Hi everyone, I'm Colleen, and this live stream is brought to you by the awesome people over at Princess Dental Staffing. Happy to see everyone on this Wednesday. Happy hump day. So I am super excited because today is the beginning of another three-part series that we are completing on working interviews. So a few weeks ago, we finished up a three-part series on thank you notes, right? Sending thank you notes after your initial interviews. Okay. And we did a three-part series. Part one, I believe, was dental hygienists, and then dental assistants, and then dental receptionists front office. Okay. And this week, today, we're starting another three-part series on working interviews. So working interviews basically some offices and practices like to have working interviews. So basically what would happen is you have your interview, you send your thank you notes, and if you need help on, what to include for thank you notes and some advice on that, be sure to go back and take a look at our three-part series on that. Okay. And then after that, you might be selected for a working interview. So basically, a working interview is an opportunity for you to show the potential employer how you would fare in their environment, in the position that you are applying for. Okay, to see how you work with the team, how you work with the employer, and also to decide if this position would be a good fit for you. And today is, like I said, it's part one, and we are talking about dental hygienist working interviews. Okay, so be sure to tune in for part two and part three, where we'll be talking about dental assistants and dental receptionists working interviews as well. Okay. Now, before we get into all of that too deeply, just want to remind everyone that Princess Dental Staffing is an online dental job board offering full-time, part-time, permanent, and temporary jobs for dentists, dental assistants, dental hygienists, and front desks personnel as well in a variety of different areas. So if you have some time on today, hop on to princessdentalstaffing.com and you can take a look at some positions available in your area. Also super easy to create a profile and get your information in front of hiring managers as well. Also on their website, you can take a look at their blog. So their blog covers a lot of the same topics that we cover in these live streams. So you can always go back and take a look at their blogs as well. Speaking of these live streams, we bring you a new live stream every week on Wednesday. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, subscribe to our channel, follow our page. If you like the content we're bringing you, be sure to drop us a like. If you have any questions, thoughts, insights, or just anything to add to the conversation, be sure to comment below. Okay. All right. So let's talk about working interviews for dental hygienists. Again, a working interview is essentially when the potential employer invites you to come work with them, essentially performing the duties of a dental hygienist in the environment where you can be expected to work. So it's a great opportunity, not just for the potential employer to determine whether or not you're a good fit, but also for you to determine whether or not this is a good fit for you, and this particular position is something that you want to consider. Okay, so let's first start off talking about being a dental hygienist, right? So that so we can talk about what duties you're going to be expected to perform, typically expected to perform. Like I said, working interviews might be just a few hours, half a day, maybe a couple of days. Okay. So let's kind of talk about what you might be doing as a dental hygienist in those in that time frame. Examining each patient and discussing any observations with the dentist and potentially the patient as well. Teaching patients proper oral hygiene strategies to maintain oral health. That includes, good brushing, good flossing, and all those sorts of things. Educating patients on the importance of excellent nutrition, because excellent nutrition, not only does it affect your overall health, but it affects your oral health as well, right? So educating patients on excellent nutrition. Produce and develop dental radiographs, x-rays, applying fluoride and sealant to teeth as needed for protection of cavities, cleaning teeth of stains, plaque, tartar, and adding preventative agents on patients' teeth, such as sealants and fluorides and those sorts of things. Okay. So that's kind of what you can, as a dental hygienist, that's kind of what you can be expected to do really in most dental hygienist roles, right? And especially in a working interview. Okay. So one of the frequently asked questions that we get is when it comes to working interviews, you know, is uh, will you be paid for the work? Sorry about that. I tripped over my words. So will you be paid for the work? Yes, you should absolutely be paid for the work. Okay. So before you are scheduled to complete this working interview, again, it could be a few hours up to a few days before you get started with that working interview. Make sure that you confirm this information with your potential employer and how you're going to get paid as well. And by the way, an online staffing platform such as Princess Dental Staffing is an excellent way to ensure that you will get paid for this working interview. So basically, when a dental hygienist working interview is set up, it's essentially set up as a temp request in Princess Dental Staffing's online platform. And then the hours and hourly rate that you will be paid for are known because the employer sets the hours and they set the pay and everything, and you can see that on the online platform and everything. Okay. So it's just something, it's just something that makes the whole process easier and helps give you peace of mind that you will in fact be paid for this working interview, how much and how many hours you can expect to work and when, and the schedule as well. Okay. All right. So now that we know kind of that information, like kind of what a dental hygienist can be expected to do, and those sorts of things, let's talk about our tips for really acing that working interview. Make sure you dress properly. Okay, so make sure your scrubs are clean, they're ironed, your shoes are polished. It's generally better to wear light makeup and simple jewelry if you wear jewelry. Okay, you don't want anything that's too prohibitive, right? Anything that's going to get caught on stuff or anything that's going to get in the way of you doing your job, essentially. Okay. It's always better to be underdressed with jewelry than overdressed. Now we've mentioned this in streams before, especially when it comes to the interviews, right? Like the regular interviews. We always recommend, and I think it's been a little while since we've mentioned this, so I'm going to go ahead and mention it again. Before you go in for your interview, your regular interview, we've always recommended doing a little bit of research on the company or the practice that you're going to be interviewing with. Maybe taking a look at their website or their social media profiles and that sort of thing, and doing a little research on what you can expect the dress code to be like. So hopefully you've been able to do that research so you have kind of an idea when it comes to the types of scrubs to wear, and what the kind of expectation is for other things such as jewelry, makeup, and that sort of thing. So hopefully you've done that research, and if not, you can always ask as well if there's any sort of restrictions or special special sort of requests from the potential employer. Okay. So you can always ask that as well. But if maybe you weren't able to do the research, or maybe you just forgot to ask or to look it up because you were just so excited about this working interview, which I completely understand. And if you did, then it's better to err on the side of caution. Just make sure again that your scrubs are clean, ironed, shoes are squared away, and that you are minimizing makeup and jewelry if you wear makeup and jewelry. Okay. All right. Make sure you take a look at the schedule. Okay. That's tip number 2. Make sure you take a look at the schedule. So when you arrive at the clinic, after you've greeted everyone and said hi to everyone, It's always advisable to look and review the schedule for the day so that you know kind of what to expect and who you're going to be working with. It'll help you get prepared um, for basically prepared for the day, and also enhance your productivity within the clinic. Okay. Tip number three, be organized and familiarize yourself. You're in a completely new setting. Okay. So it might be a little bit disorienting for you to just kind of, dive right in and hit the ground running, even if you know your stuff. Right. If you don't know where everything is in order to do your job, it can be a little bit intimidating. So make sure you take a few minutes to organize and familiarize yourself with the new setting. If you're unsure, where to get equipment or tools you need, ask the other employees and ask them to kind of guide you. Um, and in that way, you will know where to go and to prepare before you get started working. You can also assist the dentist by preparing trays and placing necessary tools such as a clean mirror, explorers, scalers, probes, syringes, and those sorts of things. And that's a really great way to demonstrate to the dentist that you appreciate their time, and by not making them like kind of look through the equipment and everything. Okay. It also can demonstrate your resourcefulness as well to be able to do that, right from the get-go. Right. Okay. Number four, be friendly. So be friendly and polite to the people that you're working with. They may be your coworkers sometime in the near future, knock on wood, hopefully. They'll be your coworkers here shortly. Additionally, it's also a good idea to be polite and friendly to the people that you're working with, because it's not uncommon after working interviews for your potential new employer to ask the people that you worked with about your working style and how they felt working with you, right? And getting their feedback on their potential new teammate. Right. So that's definitely not an uncommon thing to do, and to get that feedback and kind of let that be a crucial component in decision making when it comes to, who they're going to choose and who they're going to offer the position to. So definitely beneficial to be friendly and polite to the people that you're working with. Um, and lastly, number five, send a thank you note. Send another thank you letter or email. Okay. And again, we covered thank you letters not too long ago. We did a whole series on that. So if you need some tips and tricks on how to write a thank you note, make sure that you take a look at those previous streams as well. But yeah, a thank you note or a thank you letter or thank you email, all right, is totally fine as well. Go ahead and shoot that out within 24 hours of you ending your working interview. Okay. All right. It serves as a reminder, and we kind of covered this in those streams, but it basically serves as a reminder how enthusiastic and how serious you are about this position that you just completed a working interview for. Okay. All right. So those are our tips. Now, what can you, as a dental hygienist, what can you expect after the working interview? Most of the time, your potential employer will tell you whether you passed or failed the working interview. Most of the time. Okay. But whatever the outcome is of your working interview, whether they tell you passed, whether they tell you that you failed, it's always a good idea to get constructive criticism and to ask for that constructive feedback, because that's what helps you grow as a professional. Okay. So no matter the outcome, definitely recommend that you take a moment to ask for that constructive criticism, so that you know to kind of what to focus on the next time. And hopefully you get another working interview and you'll be able to ace that one and really knock it out of the park. Okay. All right. So just to kind of reiterate our tips for a dental hygienist working interview, okay? One, dress appropriately, okay? So hopefully you've done a little research on, what you should be wearing, or kind of what's expected of your dress and overall demeanor. But if not, you can try to ask. Um, But if all else fails, just make sure that your, scrubs are clean, that your shoes are polished and clean, and that you are being really, really conservative with your jewelry and your makeup if you wear those. Okay. Number two, look at the schedule to make sure that you are prepared for what the day will bring, or the few hours or several days will bring. Be organized and familiarize yourself. When in doubt, ask for help. Okay. So that you know where things are. Number four, be friendly and polite to the people that you're working with. Again, they're probably going to be producing a report card on your performance to the hiring manager. So make sure that you're friendly and polite with them. And then also, it's also hopefully these people will become your coworkers in the very near future. So always a good idea to be friendly and polite. And lastly, send a thank you letter or send a thank you note or email within 24 hours after completing the working interview. Okay. All right. So those are our tips and insights on dental hygienist working interview. Next week, we're going to be talking about dental assistant working interviews. So be sure to tune in next week, and we'll give you our tips and tricks for acing that dental assistant working interview as well. But until then, have a great week and have a great weekend. We will definitely see you next week on Wednesday with that new stream. Okay, and giving you all of that information. But stay safe out there, and I will see you soon. All right, bye everyone.